as these guys are doing air guitars, welcome. Welcome to the... I can't get through the intro. Oh, man. Welcome to the Four Horsemen of Fantasy podcast as Jack is playing the air guitar with feverish vigor. I am Karlos Ortiz alongside Jack Hopkins and Nick Romeo.
Oh, I love it, boys. I love it. Keep on making the wrong name in the back.
Noticeably absent is Gil Benhamu, who decided to get a big fat DNP next to his name today. No, in all seriousness, he said he wasn't feeling too hot. So, Gil, if you hear this, you're editing, but we wish you well. And as always, thank you so much for joining us. We know that you guys have been enjoying our basketball content as of late, but we're gonna stick to what we know best. When I say we, I mean me for sure. Oh, yeah. We got big news in the NFL we cannot ignore. But before we jump into the QB carousel, that is the National Football League, guys, how are you?
Oh, doing wow, no one's really asked me how I've ever been doing. This is so sudden.
All right, you're not winning an Oscar. I'm just asking you how you're doing. There's no acceptance.
I'm just doing great over here. I'm just really surprised by that.
He's just excited. He's watching Batman tonight. He's excited.
Oh yeah. That's why he's excited.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I can't wait to sit through this 3-hour movie. I am super excited for this.
I'm doing good. I'm on one crutch now rather than two, and Karlos didn't even ask me how I was doing after my surgery. That just shows how good I'm doing. No, like today. You're like, oh, how are you doing, Jack? With my crutch next to me.
First of all, I didn't even see the crutch leaning across.
Literally right here.
This is a much more improved change of pace for us because we're actually in the studio as opposed to doing our remote. So if this was remote, I would not have been able to see the crutch. But even in person, I still didn't notice the crutch that was just hanging around by the wall.
From his face.
Hey, you didn't ask me how my hand was doing. So
that's true.
Were we even out there?
I had surgery. You fell. Like it's not as.
I could have had surgery.
It's not as cool.
I could have had surgery.
All right.
I was firmly expecting pins and screws to go into my hand and beep through metal detectors for the rest of my life.
But done that.
You know who doesn't have to go through a metal detector right now? Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers doesn't have to go to a metal detector because he is not switching teams. Therefore, he's not catching the airplane unless he has to play road teams. That was a great segue. I deserve points for that.
I like that.
I was trying to work it out. But
I was like,
that's the wrong number.
I want to say Aaron Rodgers, but I also don't want to be the idiot on air. So, but not anymore.
Wait, okay.
So with that said, the big news of the week this week for the NFL is there's a couple of storylines. The Aaron Rodgers has re-signed with the Green Bay quarterback. That's his drop. Green Bay Packers as the starting quarterback. And
huge deal.
It is a massive deal, but he gets paid, but the cap number for the Packers goes down. And I think that's why it worked for both sides, because now they have a little bit of flexibility. They'll probably still restructure the deals with Aaron Jones. But now do they pay other guys? Because Devontae Adams got franchise tagged. So what moves do they need to make? Because the team, as of right now, they're far and away the best team in the division. I think Minnesota is a nice team. They did lose a couple of wins, very fluky, and by fewer than single digits. So Minnesota's a good team, but I still think that's the Packers division to lose. But they're not the Super Bowl contender that everyone would think that they are. I think they still have some moves to make. They need another receiver outside of Adams to take pressure off.
Can I ask a hypothetical?
Absolutely.
I said this to Nick earlier. I saw someone tweet it out, and I can't give the credit to them, but they said, do you think that the Green Bay Packers should trade Jordan Love for Tyler Lockett?
I think
that would be a great.
I'm in love with that.
I think that would be. Pardon the pun.
If I'm the Packers, yeah. Because at this point, what the hell do you have Jordan Love on the roster for? I think there's no point.
Yeah, I saw a funny thing. It was like Jordan Love's at starting QB, and it's just like someone had aged him like so much. Andy Holloway it was, and he was just like so ancient. It's
you drafted Jordan Love in the first round for what?
Such a bad
pick. Like it was just bad management on the front office like that. You grab someone that early when you could have grabbed someone else, a couple of years ago in the draft. And now you wasted a pick on Jordan Love. You got to get something from value now when he's so young and he could still.
What would you guys get? What would you think that the Packers can get for Jordan Love? You're not getting a first.
No, you're not getting a first. That's exactly what I was going to say. You are not getting a first because Jordan Love has sat behind Aaron Rodgers for the last 2 years. And maybe he's learned something, but like a team. I don't think having watched what he has done when he has played, which has been minimal amount of time, there's no way a team can really take a risk and be like, that's our next starting QB, unless you're a team that is completely rebuilding. So that's why I'm thinking Seattle, like that might make sense if they are rebuilding. Like you don't know the skill set Jordan Love had. Bear in mind, Patrick Mahomes, no one really knew who he was that much. When he was behind Alex Smith for that one season and stuff, and then he came out and did great. You never know. I think that pick was terrible. Everyone thinks that. And I'd be curious to see, do we know if Randall Cobb is re-signing this season?
I think he is.
He is?
He should be.
Yeah. So, I mean, I kind of like their receiver set. I mean, getting Devontae, it was going to be, if Aaron Rodgers leaves, Devontae Adams is going to leave. I'm pretty sure. It was a two-way package, which is, I think it's huge for them. I like Alan Lazard, but I do think they need another key receiver. And
Lazard is a free agent. I don't know if he comes back.
I don't know. But I think
Scantling might come back.
Yeah, Marquette.
But that's the only guy that's there that's going to be worth talking about there. But
it's going to be interesting. I mean, it's also DLs of the deal, $50 million a year for 4 years, so $200 million. I think it's $152 million or something guaranteed.
Yeah.
So it's more than Patrick Mahomes, right?
He's the highest
He's
paid
the highest paid
player in the
quarterback
NFL.
now.
Yeah. Exactly. So I think it's good business from Green Bay. I think they've done a good job. I think the one area that I personally think they need to improve is the defense. I mean, I think that's one thing that let them down this year. Like, I mean, no one has any issues with the offense. The offensive line is good for the most part. They do. He does have receivers that he's succeeded with there, but if they keep putting him in positions where he has to throw 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns a game, then that's what I think. That's where they've fallen short over the last few years. When I remember the Falcons beating them in what was it, the NFC Championship game? I think.
Was it 2016?
2016. Yeah. When they ended up going on and obviously losing to. No, it was 2017 when they went on and lost to the Patriots. But the Falcons beat them because Green Bay scored points, but the Falcons scored more. It was just one of those things. So I think the defense for me.
And the special teams too. I mean, that's what killed them against the 49ers, I think.
Yeah.
And the fact that Rodgers couldn't play in the snow for some reason. Like, we're so used to him doing it in Green Bay, and now he can't do it.
He's
against
a California kid, that's why.
I don't get it, but
I don't know. But yeah, so do you want me to break the most recent breaking news?
Sure, go for it. This is a team effort here.
Yeah. So I want to break it because Gil's going to be really happy, and he's going to obviously want to hear. But I kind of wish he was here for this. It's his team. It's
this is his homer team.
The Chargers have traded for Khalil Mack. Now, this deal baffled me. Like, I mean, this has just happened, so this is breaking. So this is an hour ago. So this is pretty raw from us. He has just signed with, they get a 6-time Pro Bowler in Khalil Mack, and it's for a 2023 second and 6th round pick. What? Why?
I don't get the deal at all.
What? Like, that's just like, can you please take Khalil Mack off our hands? Like, that is just handing him away. I know he didn't have as much of an impact last year, I don't think, but the presence that he brings, getting double teamed, that's enough presence. If he's not getting the quarterback, fine, but if he's getting double teamed, that gives Joey Bosa more room to work on and stuff. I just think this is a great move for the Chargers. And I guess segue, Mike Williams has just signed a 3-year deal, $20 million a year, $60 million total.
I'm actually surprised with that deal too.
Yeah, but they're investing in their star receivers, and they've got a young QB who looks great. They've got a great running back. They've got a great offense. So adding to that defense is absolutely massive, and I think it could really. The Chargers could look great this season.
And for a team getting rid of, let's say, like they just got rid of Melvin Ingram a couple of years ago because he was always hurt, and
Melvin Ingram,
the pass rusher.
Right, okay. And Melvin Gordon, I guess.
Yeah, Melvin Gordon, yeah.
I don't know if they got rid of him more than they looked at him leaving.
He left, but now you're grabbing another guy, another pass rusher like him, who's always hurt as well. So, at the same time, it's basically a replacement for that to help out Joey Bosa on that side of the ball. And I think that's what the Chargers needed. They needed someone to get to the quarterback when they have an explosive offense to add with Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, just all those guys over there. Mike Williams now.
He finally has he showed out last season. Through the first 8 weeks, he was in fantasy, I think the wide receiver 3 or something, wasn't he? Wide receiver 4. People were trading crazy things for Mike Williams, and
he dropped
He
off.
Always had that potential.
Yeah.
But he has just been so injury prone.
Yes.
My thing
that's the worst part. Yeah.
Is he going to be able to do that again this season? If he is, it was a great deal. I doubt his fitness. And can I also say, this is I've segued into segue, but the Denver Broncos deals for Courtland Sutton and Tim Patrick, which is $10 million and $15 million combined. So 10 million and 50 million total, 25 million combined. That's starting to look really good business for them. Yeah. Especially now you have got, which we're going to break in a second, Russ.
You want to go ahead and take that
talk
one?
about Russ. Like you've just like.
What happened, Russell Wilson? What happened? I don't know.
I don't know, Nick. Why don't you tell us?
Oh, did Russell Wilson get traded to the Denver Broncos?
Are you telling, or is that a question?
I think that happened.
I think that happened.
It might
be a little
happened.
bit more affirmative. Russell Wilson got traded from the Seattle Seahawks to the Denver Broncos.
And I think that's a great trade for the Broncos. You know who it's not a good trade for? We were just talking about this. Noah Fant.
Oh, poor Noah Fant.
Yeah. Noah Fant goes and
he can't get away from Drew Lock.
He can't get away from him. It's so bad, you know. But I think it's great for the Broncos. Just that whole division now is just stacked.
It's
insane.
And we're gonna break down the division in a little bit. I got something good for you guys because our audience knows we love games, and I got a nice game involved in the AFC West right after this.
Nice.
Please continue.
It's just crazy, Jerry Jeudy, Tim Patrick, Courtland Sutton. Like he has a great core there. He could be there for the next 5. Like I know he's getting on a bit, but Wilson still has a lot.
Dude, and he's got Gordon and Javonte Williams in the backfield, so they
Javonte especially.
He's got a good team back there.
I love Javonte.
Even there was a report saying that Von Miller might be going back to the Broncos.
See, now that's the thing I don't know.
Yeah,
that's rumors.
Yeah.
But with the money that he could command. Yeah, I'm not sure if the Broncos would be able to have the flexibility in order to bring Miller back into the fold.
And don't forget the tight end as well, Nick. What's his name again?
He starts with the letter O.
They call him Albert O. It's Albert Oberwegenom. I can pronounce it because I listened to another podcast and they pronounce it. I'm like, I've got to remember Oberwegenom. But they love this guy. They're going to get rid of Fant. I think Albert O, like hot take already, he's going to be a top 10 tight end.
We were talking about that.
Top 10 tight end this
season. He could be a great
fantasy tight end is a wasteland.
I know, but
I don't
Wilson
way too early fantasy
passing
talk
to his tight ends. Wilson loves tight ends.
You know who else loves
in general? Not even just in general.
Oh God! Here we go.
Oh, I don't have that. That's right. This is a different roadcaster.
Never mind. But yeah, Russell Wilson, huge trade. I think Denver won it. I think that because they got Russell Wilson. But
let me also breaking news for a Giants fan as myself. Giants wide receiver Sterling Shepard is returning for his 7th season.
I can't wait to see him in his 3 games.
I need to see what the terms of that deal is before I can determine whether that's a good or a bad move.
If they're not paying too much for him,
then I'm okay with it.
Sure, and then you get a good year from him and get rid of him next year.
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, don't get me wrong. He's going to be great in the 3 games he plays.
Yeah, basically, he's going to be a stud for those 3 games.
He'll be a stud,
especially when Trubisky's throwing to him. Especially when Trubisky's throwing to him.
One of the most injury-prone players.
I don't want Trubisky.
No, I don't want him either.
God.
He's had a lot of praise out of Buffalo, but yeah.
And lastly, to round up this, speaking of quarterbacks you don't want, the Washington Commanders go ahead and pull off a deal with the Indianapolis Colts to get Carson Wentz for him to be their starting quarterback. Fellas, as I bang my head in hilarity, yay or nay on Carson Wentz to the Washington Commanders?
To be honest, no.
It's a nay. It has to be a nay. Like this, it just doesn't make any sense, really. I know that. Like, they have been looking for a QB for years, and apparently they were in on Russell Wilson. The biggest thing was they didn't want to give up Chase Young.
Yeah.
And that's what they were asking for. So they were in on that, but it seemed like they were like, shit, who else is out there? Let's ring up the Colts. Let's ring up the Colts.
Insert horse noise.
and just see if Carson Wentz is available. And they ring him up and like, was it a couple of second rounders? What was the deal package again? I think it was.
I think it's 2 third rounders and one of them could be a second round.
Yeah,
depending on
how
nothing.
they do. So nothing. It's like, can we have Carson? They're like, yeah, actually, you know what?
Well, they also got rid of him too
now
because he had no leadership role in Indianapolis. The reports came out that he didn't fit in their system and he really wasn't like a leader for them. So when you don't have your starting quarterback as a leader to show off for the young guys in the Indianapolis Colts that you have over there, it's going to rub off on them. And you have to get rid of someone like that. And you don't want that hurting your organization long term.
The Colts decided that having no quarterback is better than having Carson Wentz. And
That says something.
That says a lot.
And this is a huge indictment, and I think this guy is officially on the hot seat on Frank Reich. Because there was a report that came out today that he actually apologized to ownership for vouching for Carson Wentz when the Philadelphia Eagles made him available.
Yeah,
That's a
he was
big
previously
deal.
in
Yeah.
Philly,
He was
right?
he was the offensive coordinator.
So he knew Carson. One thing I will say is that I do think there is a beneficiary in this situation, and I think it's Terry McLaurin. Because Terry McLaurin, regardless of who Carson Wentz is, we've seen him support fantasy wide receivers. So I'm talking purely from a fantasy point of view here, because this is what we are. We're a fantasy podcast. Terry McLaurin has done excellent with Ryan Fitzpatrick. He's done excellent with Chase Daniel.
Taylor Heineke.
Taylor Heineke. Like, he's done excellent with what's the name of the big mobile quarterback with the big arm? I can't remember what his name is. But anyway, he's done well with bad QBs.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz isn't amazing, but I feel like that he might be the best QB that Terry McLaurin's played with. At least.
And that's saying something.
Yeah, but I just think Terry McLaurin could be in for a top 10 fantasy year this year.
Even Gibson too.
Huge.
Look what the season Jonathan Taylor had with Carson Wentz under center. You know, he wasn't throwing the ball as much to the point where they had to give the ball to Jonathan Taylor 25, 30 times.
Now the Colts offensive line is better than the Commanders, but I think you're right. I think Gibson's gonna have a really solid fantasy season. He finished strong last year.
He did finish strong.
Yeah,
and he hurt with his a toe or turf toe.
No, he had a stress fracture.
That's what it was.
In his shin.
That's what it was. For the rest of the season, and it lingered. But towards the end, like you were saying, it wore off. But
yeah.
One last hypothetical before we slightly switch gears. If there was the same terms of that trade that happened with the Colts and the Commanders, but it wasn't the Colts, it was the 49ers for Jimmy Garoppolo, would you feel a little bit better about that trade?
Yes. I just think Jimmy G is a better... Jimmy G, I think, has been a little bit underappreciated the last couple of years. He took the 49ers to a Super Bowl. He took them into the playoffs last year and they looked good. And he didn't do that great. He's not an elite QB by any stretch of the imagination, but I think he's at a point in his career where I think I would rather trust him a little bit than Carson Wentz, because Carson Wentz has shown the last couple of years that he has not been the guy.
Absolutely. I think I would definitely trust Jimmy G over it. You know, especially in that system too. You know, he was in the Kyle Shanahan system. You know, he knows exactly what winning football is. Carson Wentz, he was there when the Eagles went to the Super Bowl and won, but look who was under center. Nick Foles, the leader, was the one to bring him and finally do it. So
have you seen
definitely Jimmy G.
Carson Wentz come out recently and say that he in an interview quoted by saying that he didn't like it when the Eagles won the Super Bowl because he felt like he was being completely overshadowed.
He was.
He was though.
He was, but
he got him there.
But he said that he wasn't happy for the team and stuff. I think that's probably why he people were surprised when he got out, really, and I think that's why I think he didn't like the fact that they succeeded without him.
And as a player, you have to be a team, especially in this sport. You have to be a team player.
Yeah.
And that's what actually got him out of Indianapolis. The fact that he didn't want to work with that specific team, and I don't think he could with a specific team. His head's too big for this.
And what I was going to say, one of the most important things that you could have in terms of an ability for a quarterback is that mental toughness, that fortitude. And I was a big supporter of Carson Wentz when he went down because people forgot how good he can play.
Oh,
he played. He was an MVP candidate before he got hurt.
Yeah.
That injury was not only physically, I think mentally, that was the worst thing that could have happened to him. He has not been the same player since. He's mentally broken. And I thought the Indianapolis Colts were, and with Frank Reich, knowing that the player that Wentz is, I thought they would be able to fix him and build up his confidence, because I don't think the ability has gone anywhere. It's just he's in his head.
He's the opposite of Joe Shiesty.
Yeah.
Joe Shiesty's done the opposite thing. Everyone thought he wasn't going to have a good season this year, and he came in and he balled out. The age is a big factor there, and 10 years apart or whatever, but probably less. But I just think that factors in. I'm saying right now, I think Jimmy G's the next Colts QB.
I'm with you 100%.
I really think that'd be a good fit
at this point.
I really do. So we'll see what happens.
So slightly changing gears, we still want to stay with the quarterbacks because that's what drives the league. That drives fantasy teams. Deshaun Watson. Here we are again. Is he the next domino to fall? There are reports are coming out that now that Seattle has moved on from Russell Wilson and they've accumulated this draft capital, you would think that they're in a rebuild. I think they're about to strip it down because Bobby Wagner got released and, Tyler Lockett looks like he's going to be on the trading block as well. But lo and behold, reports are coming out that Seattle Seahawks are interested in making a move for Deshaun Watson. Do you think that's a good move for Watson? Do you think it's a good move for the team?
To Seattle, you do have great receivers in DK Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. I do agree. But I feel like that's a rebuilding team, like you were saying. Bobby Wagner's gone. Pete Carroll's still coach over there. I don't really trust him as much as the head coach there. Ever since the Super Bowl, I've never liked his judgment with that. But I could definitely see him going. So this is my hypothetical. Deshaun Watson getting traded to San Fran once Jimmy G goes to the Colts.
Wow.
I could not see that.
I see that.
I couldn't see it. That's
you
about
don't
as
draft
hot
Trey
as
Lance
as you can
at
get.
3.
Yeah, that's right. That Trey Lance is still there.
I feel like
in the
he
market
would
for
fit that system perfectly.
I agree with that. Like, I think Watson would be good in the Shanahan system, but if the 49ers do that, that would be, I feel like, one of the stupidest moves that they could possibly do because of the fact that they have this young QB who they love, who they were trying to implement in the system last season, and it wasn't really working because of the way they were using him. But you get rid of Jimmy G and you give the reins to Trey Lance. Like, if you bring in Deshaun Watson, I could see Trey Lance getting out of there and them trying to recoup a first-round pick or something for him. Like, if you're Trey Lance and your team, if your team, trades away Jimmy G and you're like, great, I'm the QB, and then, we're going for Watson, by the way. It's like,
well, they're about to pull the Packers, where they drafted Jordan Love for the first round, and then they grab another.
There's a difference between a third pick and a 30th, though.
Yeah.
Where Jordan,
no, it
Jordan
is
Love
true.
went.
No, you're all right.
So,
yeah.
For me, I was thinking Steelers. I think that the Steelers have also a great young core of receivers. They have Chase Claypool. Their defense, maybe, it's not been quite the same Pittsburgh defense as we've seen in recent years, but TJ Watt is still elite. They still have really good playmakers on that team.
They need a cornerback. That's what they need.
They do, yeah. What's it, Joe Hayden?
Joe Hayden's you have Devin Bush over there, too, making plays for you.
Yeah, but so I just think that you put Deshaun Watson in that system, right? Mike Tomlin's a great coach. And you have Chase Claypool. You have,
Deontay Johnson.
Deontay Johnson, I was going to say Juju, I guess, but I don't know if he's going to be coming back or not.
Enough,
James Washington's pretty good, and maybe they draft another guy, I don't know. And
Najee Harris there as your...
Najee Harris, young. I think that system could really work for Deshaun Watson. I just do question whether he is even going to be allowed. I read just before, I read up a little bit on this, and if he is not indicted tomorrow, which apparently his indictment is going to be tomorrow, tomorrow will be Friday, March 11th, he can be traded as soon as Wednesday next week. Yeah. So Wednesday, March 16th. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens there. But I'm just getting sick of it, really. All season it was, is he going to go on Miami, and then it didn't happen, and it's like, I just. For starters, I don't think he should be in the league. That's just, the personal opinion. What he's done is terribly wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm confused. And also, break the news. I guess we haven't talked about it yet. Calvin Ridley.
I was just about to segue into
for
it.
the season. I was thinking. Homer pick here quickly. I think the Falcons should trade for DK Metcalf. If they're going to get rid of Ridley, Seattle are really.
If Seattle doesn't get a quarterback, I actually think the Jets should make a call to DK Metcalf.
Yeah, I think a team should try and say, maybe here's a first-round pick. Can we have DK? And for a team like Seattle, it's like if they're trying to rebuild and they've got all these new picks, that could be huge.
If DK was crying in Seattle, he's going to be distraught in New York with the Jets.
Yeah, I don't know whether he's...
you know what? Call me crazy.
You're crazy.
I actually think that wouldn't be a bad move for both DK and the Jets. It'd be a great move for the Jets. It wouldn't be a bad move for DK Metcalf, man.
Give Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson a legitimate number one to throw to.
But Zach Wilson even throw?
Excuse then. There's no excuse.
Yeah, come on.
And then teach him how to throw.
I'd rather have Mike White throw the ball to him than Zach Wilson.
Enough of that.
Well,
this has been great.
It has been great. And one last thing I will say about the quarterbacks. I think Deshaun Watson's going to wind up being a Minnesota Viking.
Aww.
I'll just casually drop that in there.
Okay.
They got some talent on that team.
Oh, yeah.
Receivers galore with Thielen and Justin Jefferson, and then you have Dalvin Cook and Alex Madison, who would be a starter in any other team.
Yep.
So, yeah, you want a hot take? That's how you drop a hot take, Nick. We'll be back in a minute.
Let's go!
I was expecting Nick to just go ahead and scream it out.
Jack took it from me. All right.
So we had our little powwow during our mini break here, where we only have one song for you, but it's an epic song. We come back with another rousing edition of Love.
Oh, you definitely aroused me.
Oh my God! I need that cut.
You Ronda aroused me.
I need that cut in the worst way. So we have another edition of Love.
Love is this love that I'm feeling.
Like
I think they like me. I think they like me.
and Hate.
You can hate me now.
Alrighty. So you guys know how this game works, but just in case you're new to the podcast or you forgot, love like hate. Hey, say that 3 times fast.
How
You have
about,
2
how about
L
live,
words.
live, laugh, love?
Late.
I hate that
Carlos'
so
number
much.
one word in his vocab, late.
What about live, laugh, love?
I hate, you know, it's funny. I was just talking about this. I hate those stupid signs in the house, live, laugh, love, and all this. All that crap that you can buy at like a Target for home decor, throw it in the garbage. I absolutely hate it. And I did not intend to name the game after something as corny as that.
Is it bad I have one in my house?
But I would buy something that says love like hate. I'm absolutely with that. So here's how the game works.
New merch coming down. Watch out.
I'm gonna throw out a topic, and I'm gonna give you three choices in said topic. I love one, I like one, I hate one. And remember, this is about me. It's not about you, you the audience, you the co-host. It's all about me. I'm egocentric. I want to give out points, and I want you to fight for my love and adoration, and I want you to be penalized when you get the wrong answer.
I'm going to make you love the person you hate.
I have no idea what the hell you're talking about, but
That's deep.
Let's get into it. All right, so me being the homer that I am, I'm going to go ahead and start with the NFC East because obviously we just spoke about the Carson Wentz deal. So I'm going to give you 3 quarterbacks. I like one, I love one, I hate one. The 3 quarterbacks are as follows. The newly acquired Washington Commanders starting quarterback Carson Wentz. Incumbent quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts. And presumed incumbent quarterback for the New York Giants, Daniel Jones. I like one, I love one, I hate one.
Is this from a fantasy standpoint, or is this just...
Nope. No fantasy implications. This is
Okay.
This is real life team implications in the NFL.
So what's tough here is that we just talked about Carson Wentz, and you were kind of saying that you did like him in Philly and stuff, which is obviously strange because you're a Giants fan, I guess. But I think that after seeing what Hurts did last season on the ground, that kind of thing, I think you love him. I think you like Wentz. I think you hate Jones. I know you don't like Daniel Jones, so that's what I'm gonna go with. Hurts. Love.
I'm not copying off you. That's what I was gonna go to.
Okay, I believe you.
That's what I was gonna do, just because I know how Giants fans are.
Yeah.
And
I
don't
like Daniel Jones either.
So slight deviation. We will tally up the scores after all the categories have been announced. So I'm keeping a record. Okay. So you guys are both, you have love for Jalen Hurts, like for Carson Wentz, and hate for Daniel Jones.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll answer first.
All right. So I'm also going to stay in the NFC East for this one, but I'm going to go a little bit different. We didn't talk about this story.
You're not telling us yet. You said you.
No, we're going to tell you at the end of it, so we can get it all in one shot and declare a winner.
Like
that actually helps because sometimes I'll like, if I'm ahead,
I'll make different answers.
I will just do the same answers as Nick. I'm like, I won. All right, go.
All right. So staying in the NFC East, looking at the ownership group, this is going to be a nice change.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to give you the owner
Hit me.
of the New York Giants, John Mara.
Okay.
I'm going to give you the owner of the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones.
Those two are both hate candidates, but go on.
And I'm going to give you the owner of the Washington Commanders, Dan Snyder.
Oh.
I love one, I like one, I hate one.
Really? You love one of those guys? Wow.
This is how many times have we heard your hate about the ownership and the GM for the New York Giants?
That's a hate for both of us.
It has to be.
I'm gonna say you like. No, you love Schneider, and you like Jones.
What say you?
I just think you hate Jerry Jones, but I mean, I'll play contrary. I'll say you love Jones. I'll say you like Snyder, and that you hate John Mayer.
Okay. Moving on.
It's not John Mayer, is it?
John Mara.
John Mara.
Yeah, I know.
John
I
Mayer's
said
the
John
musician.
Mayer.
Yeah. You're not confusing John Mara playing a
You're not
guitar.
Katy Perry,
Yeah, John Mayer.
Not if anybody won in life. Going to the AFC West. Because obviously we talked about Russell Wilson going to Denver before that. So I give you 3 quarterbacks within this division. Unfortunately for Derek Carr, while I think he's a great quarterback, he will not make this list. He automatically becomes the worst quarterback in that in that
Sadly,
division.
even though he's great.
And I think he's a good quarterback.
I think he's good.
Competent.
I actually, you know what? I wouldn't be mad if Derek Carr went to the Steelers. I think that could be a decent fit there.
could be.
But, you know, we'll cross out another episode.
Receivers too, but that's another.
So let's talk about the other 3 quarterbacks. Newly acquired Denver Broncos starting quarterback Russell Wilson. Incumbent for Los Angeles Chargers Justin Herbert. And of course, Patrick Mahomes for the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, love, hate.
That's actually so hard because
is.
these 3 guys are all great. Like as QBs, they're all great. So, is it me first this
You
time?
want to go? I already have my 3. No matter what you say.
Okay, all right.
I'm already. I'm locked in.
I am gonna say that you hate Mahomes, that you like Wilson, and that you love Herbert.
Nick?
You have your 3.
I did, but now it's
No,
like,
no,
why
go
you
on.
say, all right,
No,
all right.
you
You love
have it.
Mahomes, you like Herbert, and you hate Wilson.
Was
Just
that the opposite of me?
Yeah, just because
No,
no
I said,
idea what's going on in Denver yet. You have no idea what that system.
We all said we just said 3 different ones for 3 different.
Yeah.
That's great. That's good.
This is why we're keeping score at the end
Yeah.
instead of doing it right now. So let's stay in the West, but let's go over to the NFC. Now, this one's going to be a little interesting because I kind of project a move that's not out there quite yet. Now, if this move doesn't happen, this entire category is void. But I think it's very feasible. So in the NFC West, I'm going to give you 3 quarterbacks. Arizona Cardinals, Kyler Murray. Reigning Super Bowl champion for the Los Angeles Rams, Matthew Stafford. And for the San Francisco 49ers, Tom Brady. Like, love, hate.
Oh my god.
Okay. Well,
So this is you. So I feel like you love Stafford. So I'm going to say you love Stafford. I feel like you like Kyler and you'd hate Brady at the 49ers. Even though you're doing that hypothetical, I feel like you wouldn't do it if you didn't like it, but I'm going to say you hate it because I wouldn't like that. I know he's from that area. I just don't think that would be good for him.
What say you?
I'm doing the same love for Stafford, but I'm saying you like Tom Brady in San Fran and you hate Kyler Murray in Arizona.
That's another one, by the way. Kyler Murray could potentially be like on his way out.
Leaving.
I know there's just
Yeah.
been,
That would be a shocker.
there's
to
been
me.
such weird like beef back and forth.
Yeah,
with
he
the car,
got rid of all the
pathetic.
posts.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pathetic. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah, and Kyler Murray's a really good quarterback. I don't think he's at the level to demand a trade quite yet.
Yeah.
He's not that caliber of quarterback. Might be tipping my hand there a little bit. Going to the last category. Your answers are locked in. You can't change it now. Going into the last to the last category. I'm going to call this quote-unquote needy teams because not everybody can win at the quarterback position. You know, this is a musical chair. Someone's going to be left standing. So I'm going to give you right now the Indianapolis Colts. They moved on from Wentz. You have no idea who the next quarterback is going to be. You have the Pittsburgh Steelers, where Ben Roethlisberger, let's try that again, just retired. So are you going to roll the dice with Mason Rudolph or Dwayne Haskins, or are you going to go another route? And the New Orleans Saints, where Jameis Winston is still a free agent. He may come back, he may not come back, but you don't have head coach Sean Payton. You turn the keys over to Dennis Allen, so who knows where you'd go there in quarterback.
Taysom Hill's there still too. Right?
I don't care about Taysom Hill. So, like, love, hate, the Colts, the Steelers, and the Saints.
Like,
Yeah, what do we like?
what
loving
am I
and
like?
hating
What
them?
am I like?
Yeah.
just whether the current state of affairs, what do you think they could do?
Right.
You know, for argument's sake, the teams right now.
All right, you hate the Saints. You love the Colts, and you like the Steelers. What I will say, insider information, one of my buddies was down in New Orleans last week. I don't know if he probably doesn't listen to this, but he was down in New Orleans.
He better, that's the wrong answer.
He was down in New Orleans last week, and you know who walked past him in the bar? Jameis Winston.
No.
So
Still there.
He's there.
He's doing his time.
I mean, Jordan Spieth was also there too, which he said was really cool.
I don't think Jordan Spieth is going to be starting quarterback for the Saints.
No, I don't think so. He's a man of many talents, but maybe not in the quarterback realm.
All right. You love the Steelers, like the Colts, hate the Saints.
All right, now, here's the time where everybody has been waiting with bated breath to see how we're going to go in terms of scoring. Which is the only reason why we do any of this stuff, right? We do it for points. Again, my love and my adoration is on the line here. And I can see Jack really stressed out. He had his hands buried in his face. Really felt the pressure there.
God.
All right, so I asked you guys in the NFC East for quarterbacks, whether I love, like, or hate Carson Wentz, Daniel Jones, or Jalen Hurts.
I got my answers already.
You both said that I would love Jalen Hurts, like Carson Wentz, and hate Daniel Jones. Well, I absolutely love Jalen Hurts.
Nice.
Jalen Hurts, I don't get the whole hubbub of trying to find a replacement for Hurts already. I don't think we know what his ceiling is quite yet. And the Philadelphia Eagles didn't have a great offensive line. They didn't get major contributions from their running backs. Like, people thought that Miles Sanders was going to take this huge step forward.
They don't have a receiver.
They don't have a legitimate number one receiver because Jalen Reagor's not the guy.
No. I guess Devontae Smith. Devontae
Smith.
Smith obviously has had a good season, but
I think he can be a really good 1B, a good accompanying piece, simply because he's just smaller in stature and frame. Yeah. Like, I don't know over time how his body's going to continue to hold up to the rigors of a 17 and eventually 18-game season. But I really do like Devontae Smith. With that said, I just love the situation that Jalen Hurts is in more than all the other quarterbacks, and here's where I start to kind of deviate a little bit. You guys said that I like Carson Wentz. I agree with you. I like Carson Wentz.
Nice.
Carson.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
Now I don't necessarily believe in Carson Wentz and have the same conviction as I did when he first got traded from Philadelphia to Indianapolis Colts, but the New York Giants are just so bereft of quarterback play and overall talent. I think their entire offense is completely overrated, the Giants being.
Yeah.
We were talking about it with Sterling Shepard. I didn't care if he stayed or not. I think Sterling Shepard was a prime candidate to be, to move on, whether it was a cap casualty or a trade or whatever the case may be. I'm not in love with Sterling Shepard. Evan Ingram, if he's in a Giants uniform, I'm done with this team. I don't, this quote unquote Pro Bowl, which is a complete lie, tight end. I need him off the team. He can't. It's stone hands. I'm done with.
He's getting interest from teams to be the wide receiver.
Good. Be out.
Yeah,
as long as he's not for the Giants. Kenny Golladay went an entire season without catching a touchdown. I'm good. And then you have Saquon Barkley, who's essentially Mr. Glass. I like Saquon the person. I also, the talent's obviously there, but for a number 2 overall pick, that was clearly the worst move that Gettleman could have made at that position. If you really like Barkley, you should have traded down.
Yeah.
And acquired another asset. And I said all of this without even addressing the play of Daniel Jones. I have not been a Daniel Jones fan ever since he came out of Duke. The toughest competition you face in the ACC is what, Wake Forest? I don't care about Daniel Jones' collegiate career. Dwayne Haskins had better numbers in 1 year than Jones did his entire collegiate career at Duke. So I was always down on Jones. I absolutely hate Daniel Jones for the NFC East. So
that was a rant. That was a rant.
And the Redskins did what they had to do.
And I could have went worse.
Commanders.
Sorry.
Hey, I would have also accepted the no names.
Back then they would have. But either way, they got rid of Haskins when they had to. Not like the Giants getting rid of Jones when they should have.
On to number 2.
So you guys both get 1,000 points.
Let's go.
Wow. What does it go? 500, 300, 200?
To be determined.
Okay.
It's
So now
it will not be that even. Come on.
No. You guys can definitely losing game points at my whim here. So we're going to ownership group. Here's where you guys had some interesting answers here. Because like I understand you're trying to get inside my head, but I'm warped, man. I don't know if you can figure this out. So I gave you John Mara, Dan Snyder, and Jerry Jones.
Okay.
We're gonna start with the love. And this is going in a completely different direction.
You don't love John Mara.
Oh, no. We both said hate to John Mara.
And that's why you both are going to lose 1,000 points. Because I don't hate John Mara. I absolutely love John Mara. And here's why.
Keep
this short.
And here's why. Really quickly, I think the hires that he made are actually the best hires that he's made in a long time. Joe Shane is going to be a phenomenal general manager. He's got to be better than Dave Gettleman. But you had the understudy for Brandon Beef for the general manager for the Buffalo Bills. Look what they've been able to accomplish the last couple of years. And Joe Shane was incremental to that part, the part that he played in that team. So I think that's a great general manager hire. But also the coaching staff. Brian Daboll. Now, truth be told, I wanted Brian Flores, but I'm good with Brian Daboll. Look at the offense that he's had in Buffalo the last 3 years. You also bring over an offensive coordinator in Mike Kafka from the Kansas City Chiefs. He was the understudy to Eric Bieniemy, who was the quarterback's coach in Kansas City. If you look at offenses, you look no further than Buffalo and Kansas City. So I like those hires from those two organizations. But on the defensive end, when you think of defense, chances are one of the teams you'll think of are the Baltimore Ravens. Defensive coordinator Wink Martindale. Don Wink Martindale is a great hire for the Giants. Now they need a pass rusher in order to make this all this come to fruition on the defensive end. But that's a quality coaching staff. That's a quality hire at the general manager position. And in comparison to the next two owners, you're going to know why I don't hate or just like John Mara. I love John Mara. So give me a love for that. Now here's where it's interesting because both of these owners I can hate for different reasons.
Yeah.
But I'm actually going to like Dan Snyder.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jack will redeem his 100 points there. Nick will go to negative 2,000.
100.
Okay.
For getting the answer wrong. So right now right now Jack is at 0, which is better than negative 2,000.
Let's go. Surprise.
Here's why I
down by
like
a little bit.
Here's why I like Dan Snyder. Dan Snyder is involved with his own controversies. I eventually think he's going to be forced to sell the team. So once that happens, I'll absolutely hate Dan Snyder. But he's not Jerry Jones. Yeah. And I don't know if you guys saw, Jerry Jones is getting sued by a woman who claims that Jerry Jones is her father.
I have seen something about it. It's funny because when I started my point, I did kind of say that I feel like you hate Jerry Jones, and then I ended up saying you loved him. So that's...
Yeah, so right now I hate Jerry Jones because he's got far bigger problems than the Dallas Cowboys right now. So we'll move on very quickly. So right now, again, scores 0 for Jack, negative 2,000 for Nick. We're going to go ahead and just breeze through the rest of these so we can get out of here at a time and manner. AFC quarterbacks, I gave you Justin Herbert, Mahomes, and Wilson. I'll tell you who's right and who's wrong. I love Justin Herbert. So Jack is right there. Here's why I don't like Justin Herbert. I absolutely love Justin Herbert. It's because he's younger than the other quarterbacks that come into the division. They just made the trade for Khalil Mack, so I think he's going to have a defense that helps him out. That defense is already better than the Kansas City Chiefs now with that one move. And Mahomes, while he's still probably one of the best probably the best quarterback in the league right now, that window is getting considerably smaller. I actually thought it closed last season. So I'm not going to go backtrack and say that the Chiefs are still the favorites in the division. I don't think so. I think that division's going to be a bloodbath. So I love where Herbert is at. I like Mahomes, but I hate Russell Wilson. I
didn't get that vibe when we talked about it earlier.
Yeah, so the reason why I hate Russell Wilson is not so much that I think he's going to be a bad move for the Broncos. I think it's a brilliant move for both him and Denver. But I think it's just going to take a little bit of time in order for them to acclimate.
You can't hate him because of that, though.
It's just in comparison to the other two teams. Mahomes has continuity. He's running it back with the same team. Herbert, the same thing. Again, I gave the edge to Herbert simply because of the U factor, and I think the defense will be better. Wilson's up there in age. He's not old by any standards. He's still got about 5 years left, easily. And they have a lot of playmakers. I just think that they'll take this year as a learning curve. And then the year following, I think Denver will be a prohibitive Super Bowl favorite. So that's my answer in terms of that. I will tally up the scores in a minute because I just want to get to the last two quarterbacks, or the last two categories. NFC West, I hate Kyler Murray. I hate Kyler Murray, so Nick is going to get some points there.
Nice.
Again, I think he's really starting to be a little agitator, a little drama setter when you haven't really reached the playing potential that you should yet. I think he's a really good quarterback. I think he could be a great quarterback, but he's not there right now.
Yeah.
Especially with the pieces that you have in Arizona. I think if you had Stafford with the Cardinals, I think the Cardinals could win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So for that reason, I like Matthew Stafford. I like Matt Stafford.
Oh.
Is this a shock to you guys, right?
Yeah.
I like Matt.
I mean, he
Matthew
just won a
Stafford.
Super Bowl, so
he
yeah.
won a Super Bowl. He won a Super Bowl. His offense is coming back. Darrell Henderson should be healthier. You're going to get a
Does that
healthier
mean
Cam
you love
Akers.
Brady in
I would love it
Oh my
if Tom Brady went to the San Francisco 49ers. If Brady, and I'm no Brady apologist. I couldn't wait for Brady to retire. But if you tell me you stick Brady over Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance in San Francisco 49ers, that's the team that's going to come out of the division.
I'm sorry, I left Tom Brady on the couch. I'm sorry.
I'm good where he is on the couch, but if you can give me Brady over those two quarterbacks, I'm absolutely in it. So
All right.
both of you are wrong right there, and there'll be significant casualties there. Needy teams, I gave you Colts, Steelers, and Saints. I absolutely hate the Indianapolis Colts.
Oh, I said like the Colts.
I said love.
You have no quarterback. Right now you have no answer.
Oh, but that's the only thing that they don't need. That they need. They have a great offensive line. They have a good defense.
I love Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah.
There's a
Receivers
lot.
are
There's a
fine.
lot of things I love about the Colts.
Yeah.
But
Michael Pittman,
quarterback is the grease that moves the wheel here, whatever the expression is.
So would that change the love if they got, let's say,
1,000%. If you got
G?
Jimmy Garoppolo,
Yeah.
then I absolutely love it.
All right.
So with that said, I hate the Colts right now. That is always subject to change. I actually like the Saints, believe it or not. I
love the Steelers.
I love the Steelers.
That's me, baby.
I think Nick just took the win.
I might have got it at the buzzer.
I didn't get any of those last two.
Really quickly, I like the Saints because I really like Alvin Kamara. Now they need to figure out their quarterback situation, but I think Jameis Winston's going to go back to New Orleans. So because of the known commodity there, I like Jameis Winston with the Saints over a unknown commodity with what the Colts are going to do at quarterback, which is right now nothing.
I'm surprised. They have no head coach in New Orleans either.
No, they got Dennis Allen. He got I think he's Sean Payton light. We'll see. And Sean Payton can always come back. He'll probably want to be in the Cowboys fan next year. Or Cowboys coach. Which leads me to the Steelers. I can't believe I'm saying this. I love the Steelers. Despite the fact that they're also in a similar situation with the Colts where they don't have a quarterback, I think they will trot out either Mason Rudolph and Dwayne Haskins. I think those guys are still marginally better than what Ben Roethlisberger is going to be was giving you the last 2 years.
I just remember Dwayne Haskins was the guy I was thinking about
Yes.
in Washington.
Yeah.
The guy with the big arm?
Yes,
Yeah.
big arm, yeah.
I knew who you were thinking of too. I just forgot.
Yeah,
the name.
Listen, Mike Tomlin's a smart guy, right? He has never had a losing season. There's a reason you went and got Dwayne Haskins other than the fact that he's very cheap. They have to see something in him.
Yeah.
And Mason Rudolph, listen, for all the flaws that you can think of, he's not a bad quarterback. I actually think that Dwayne Haskins could wind up being the starter when they have a competition, just because he's much more talented and there is he has a much higher ceiling than Mason Rudolph. And with the playmakers that we mentioned on the Steelers, especially on the offensive side, I love the situation that the Steelers are in right now. Again, this is all subject to change. The Colts can easily leapfrog these teams.
Yeah.
But with that, final score, negative 4,000 for Jack, negative 3,000 for Nick. So therefore, Nick is your winner.
Nick was just less terrible.
Nick is your winner of this rendition
Let's
of
go.
Love,
Surprise.
Like, and Hate. So with that said, we ran a little bit over the clock as we usually do, but on behalf of Jack Hopkins and Nick Romeo, we thank you for listening to another Fantasy for Horsemen podcast. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on our YouTube at 4 Horsemen of Fantasy. And please, for the love of God, share, retweet, love all the stuff that we do. We need it. We need you. This doesn't happen without you. Take it easy, guys.